Okay, so we're going to talk about two different keywords, the this keyword and the final keyword. So these concepts aren't really that difficult. They're just good tools to use when you're doing things. So we'll start with this. So right now in my Square class, I'm using a constructor that takes in a size, right? So here is my constructor. I'm actually going to get rid of the constructor overloads quickly and just make this super obvious what we're talking about. So here we have this constructor that uses an int square size. But what you could do is you could call this int size, right? And you could say size equals size. But look what's happened. We have a private int inside our class called size, and we have a parameter called size. So when we say size equals size, how does Java know which size we are talking about? Does this size equal that size? Does that size equal this one? Does this size equal itself? It's really difficult. There's ambiguity here, and when we are programming, we cannot give ambiguous instructions. So we use something called the this keyword. And if we put this in front of it, like so, we now know that this is talking about the whole class, not about the parameter. And this can be used all over the place to call anything that's inside the specific class. So for example, I could actually go this dot print, or I can use print char, or I could use any of the methods that we've specified down here. This just means inside a instance of a square, I am referring to this instance of the square. But in simpler terms, if you don't want to remember that sentence I just said, just realize that in ambiguous cases, you can use this to specify the member variable, not the parameter. So that's it for the this keyword. That's all I want to talk about. Another keyword is final. And final basically means once I have specified what the value of this thing is, I can no longer change it, right? So it's final, like one time only. So we were talking about public and private, and we made the size private because we didn't want to be able to change it outside of the class. But maybe for some reason we do want size to be public, but we don't want to change it. We could give it the final keyword. And what this will do is it means that right now it doesn't equal anything, right? It hasn't been declared. So we have a variable that's an int called size, but we haven't given it a value yet. And then in the constructor, we give it the value equal to the size that we give the constructor. So when we create Harold here, we are setting this final int size equal to 3. Now, I can go system.out.println Harold.size because it's Harold.size because it's public, right? So let's press play, boom, size.3. But even though it's public, it's not going to let me change it. This will not work. And the reason that this won't work is because it's a final field. It has a final keyword in front of it. And once it is set, it cannot be changed. So that's another way for you to access the internal variables of a class without allowing them to be changed while not having to make them private. So that's it, really. That's the final keyword and the this keyword. They're useful. They help you understand scope and where things are coming from. Hope this helped. If you want to see any more TVM tutorials or student-made content, make sure to go to the TVM YouTube page, and I'll see you next time.